What is up, guys? Doing another one down stealth challenge video, and today I'm tackling election day with no skills, as you can see there in the corner, no assets, and 99 detection risk. I did download a mod that allowed me to not change the detection rating, but it removes the weird locks on detection rating. So you can actually get a detection rating of every value between 3 and 99, instead of it being locked in intervals of 2 or 3, or I think it's in intervals of 3, isn't it? Yeah, because you can't actually get to certain concealments no matter how hard you try. Regardless, it's just a mod that lets me get to 99 concealment. I'm also using no HUD. I can definitely assure you that the 99 detection is what it says it is, and really the only reason that it's possible to stealth around with 99 detection without being instantly spotted each time is because of a mechanic in the game where there is a small pause for when you get a small pause when you get detected, called detection delay or something like that. It's in the long guide, and it talks about usually from a span of 0.8 seconds to 2 seconds. So it allows you to maneuver around even with 99 detection. It's pretty funny, honestly. So thankfully I had the computer spawn up top in this building. It definitely made it a bit easier. I didn't have to... Getting to the other building from this building isn't too terribly difficult. But depending on if I get a computer spawn upstairs or downstairs, it could be a bit harder. So I knew that the truck had to be hefty, so now all I had to do was cross over to the next building and then slowly make my way to the trucks. I did have an ECN jammer, but it's only 20 seconds, so I definitely wanted to already be putting the already have the tracker on the truck before I started laying down the jammers, so I'd have ample time to run over in my CTV. Oh, that was another part of the challenge, CTV, right? That guy spotted me before I could react in time. Thankfully he didn't shoot. Usually with with FSS max, it affects stealth to a degree as well, so guards typically have faster reaction times when it comes to shooting. Because I have noticed that it's been not harder, but guards are definitely reacting faster with the gun. Definitely more trigger happy than they normally would be. But it's not a big deal. But, FSS max really doesn't change too much in stealth, so I'm not going to put that in the title. It really doesn't make much of a difference. Aside from the more aggressive behavior in stealth, which again isn't really that big of a deal, considering I'm trying really, really hard to just not be detected in general, since I'm at 99 detection. So the first day is, as always, is really straightforward. Just find the computer, tag the truck, and go about your day. Nothing too difficult about it. Just depending on the computer spawn you get with this particular setup, it could be easier or harder. Somehow I managed to get through here without nobody seeing me just yet. I think right here, yeah, somebody sees me right here. Just go ahead and throw down the ECM jammer and then run to the escape, and that's pretty much all there is to it to this day. The next day is kind of where things start to get a bit more interesting.
That was an excellent piece of whisper work. They didn't know you were there.
So I actually ended up recording day 2 a little bit later than day 1. I gave it some good attempts after I had finished day 1, but later I just came back, redid day 1 with a pretty standard stealth build, and then changed everything for day 2 back to what it was, so the 99 detection, no HUD, the whole 9 yards. So that's why, as you'll see whenever I turn the camera here in just a second, that the truck doesn't actually say Hefty, I believe was the truck I had to tag in day 1, but instead it says Cranich, and that's just because, like I said, this is actually a separate day 2, but still more or less the same thing. Got a pretty lucky crowbar spawn right here. I was able to just go ahead and pick that up, so I didn't have to go running around searching for one pretty hard. Of course, walking along the very edge of the building lip there so I could get to the window, which is a much shorter interaction than the door. Basically just to see if the cameras are up here or not. So thankfully the cameras were on this side. It gets a little bit more complicated if the cameras are on the other side. crossing across both inside and outside the building with 99 detection is a bit of a hassle. Not impossible, of course, but there's a little bit of a headache. Tried to pull my head to the side here so I could see if a guard was coming in at any point. However, I kind of positioned myself a little bit poorly. I should have stayed on the other side when I was doing the interaction, but it's not a big deal, because I think I caught a lucky break and I didn't actually have a guard come through while I was doing the interaction, which happens pretty frequently whenever I would do this part in particular. So of course now I just want to leave the Civ down here, tuck his head in a corner to where nobody can see him. Then I can actually go inside and start working on the boxes since the camera is down and I have my crowbar already. So I decided his head was probably in a good enough shape there. Almost just ran blindly up into this room without any care in the world, and probably would have got myself detected. Of course, looking for key cards so that I can get into some of the cages. Since I brought body bags with me, I wasn't going to have any extra ammo to open up the cages with, so once I run out of saw ammo, which usually it doesn't take very many, I think 3 or 4 cages using the saw with no skills. So tried to jump down here behind the forklift and behind that one thing so that guy wouldn't see me. Thankfully it worked out pretty well. I jumped behind the forklift there so that nobody would see me as I was coming down through the opening in the door there. So thankfully I had one easy box right there. I didn't want to go for that box just yet. I wanted to wait for that guy to move because I know as soon as I started interacting with it he was going to probably start moving and walk by and then see it or see me or something. And you know, one issue with having my HUD off is I can't see when guards are seeing something suspicious that isn't me, because you know the question marks don't pop up and all that good stuff. So I have to be very cognizant of everything that I'm doing and make sure to go back and check up on the machines before they've finished hacking and all that good stuff. Sometimes I would take it just in have good grace and hope that the machines wouldn't be seen. Like machines like that are back in here, I didn't worry about too much because a guard has to explicitly come into the room in order to see them. But ones that are out in the open, I usually want to make sure the area is clear before I start interacting with the box, which is just, normal. It's something you should always aim to do in this heist. So I started interacting with that door because I thought about going outside and trying to see if there's a box out there, but then I changed my mind, and then did I change my mind again? Oh no, I was trying to poke my head outside to see if anybody was out there.
Surveillance camera?
I think I decided to wait on going outside for a minute and just let these guys mosey their way out of this room so I could actually get to this crate. That guy was still over there, but I decided to check this anyway. And it didn't have one, so it didn't matter.
Security guard.
That actually decided to go. Okay, yeah, I think I actually go outside now. So I didn't realize that door was open, which it doesn't really make much of a difference that that door is open. But I did want to be sure that, or wanted to hope that an enemy wasn't just going to barge out through that door while I was interacting with any of these boxes or whatever. Wasn't one in there. I don't think there was a box at all in this truck. Nope. And there wasn't a box at the end of the little station here. So instead, I think what I decided to do is, I think I try to go in through this front door over here in front of the cars while trying to keep an eye out for where the second cop is, because I have no clue. So of course I thought I was being seen by the guy way down there, but I wasn't. So then I'm looking around trying to find this guy, and I see a little bit of movement. I'm like, oh, okay, there he is. So thankfully he didn't start popping shots off at me, which is probably just due to the fact that I hadn't killed anybody, well, actually the entire time I was in this heist, as it stood right now. Usually if you kill an enemy within the past 60 seconds, guards are a lot more likely to shoot at you on sight. So thankfully I didn't have to worry about it right there. And it was just a standard cop, so I didn't have to worry about page or anything like that. I did have to worry a little bit about that guy way down there spotting me every time I jumped up to throw the body bag into the, or stood up rather, to throw the body bag into the dumpster. So I think I'm still at 2 boxes at this point, and I'm looking for... Ah, nice. Found another key card, so I can go ahead and use that instead of having to jump straight to using the saw. 2 pretty easy to access boxes right here. So this would be box 3, I'm pretty sure. I wasn't going to go for that one just yet. I wanted to be sure that that guy wasn't coming down in here. 2 boxes inside this cage. And one of them held a voting machine, thankfully, so that makes number 4, so I only need 2 more now. Another nice little money bag, just in case I want to take it later. Thankfully didn't get spotted by that guy due to the detection delay. I just walked right out and just looking around. So I have to wait in here for him to move, because there's no way I'm going to be able to... I might be able to crouch jump if I built up enough speed and had like just enough time, but it was going to be way less risky just to wait for him to move. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to make the crouch jump. I probably would have gotten seen by him. Another machine, that makes number 5, so now I only need 1 more. Making sure there are no guards up on the balcony before I start sawing away. Just a money bag in that cage.
Thank you.
So no boxes in any of the cages, just money bags and gauge drops. Pretty bummed about that, but I did know that there was still another box over next to the workshop table or whatever that I could go see if it had a voting machine in it. And there wasn't. So now I have to go into the middle area and check. Actually, I think I tried to check the upper parts of the storage units first, but it didn't look like there were any of them up there in this room in particular. So then this guy came and just decided to stand here at the end of the thing for a little bit, so I had to wait for him to move. Of course, there's absolutely no way I was going to be able to make it out of here without him seeing me, unless I just wanted to go ahead and cap him. But I knew as soon as I would shoot him, then somebody else would walk into the room and see me answering the page or open fire, and then I'd lose the run. So thankfully he moved pretty quickly and didn't want to hang out in one place for too terribly long. It's definitely worked out to my benefit. Didn't have to wait hardly as long. So definitely worried as I was about to walk into this middle area, because I really didn't want to get suddenly jumped by a guy, because I was kind of close. And then there was the guy that was... Oh yeah, that was... How did I not get detected there? That was incredible. Wonky detection is definitely something else, like the detection delay and then stuff like that. Just like where that guy turned at the very last possible second and I didn't get detected. It was really fortunate, which wouldn't have been that bad, I don't think, because I would have been able to just shoot him with a shotgun maybe into the corner or something, and hopefully he wouldn't have shot at me beforehand. But regardless, I was able to find my 6th box so that I could go ahead and get out of this place. I do decide to take a money bag or 2 with me, because, you know, why not? Sadly, I can't go for all loot because that means I'd have to drill into all of the cages, because I definitely wouldn't have enough saw ammo to open up all of the cages individually, which suited me just fine because I really didn't feel like extending this too terribly much longer. I was definitely ready to go ahead and get out of this place. Nerves were racked at this point. But I pretty much had it in the bag. So long as the escape was triggered and I got to it in ample time, then everything was going to be alright. Just go ahead and load up the gold really quickly. And right about now, I'm trying to decide whether or not I was going to go back in and get the rest of those loose money bags I had already gotten. There was one on one side of the warehouse where the cameras were at, and then I think there were still 2 or 3 left. I think just 2 money bags left on the non-camera side of the warehouse.
Cargo is secured. Cargo secured.
And of course, depending on the guard pathing, it could be really quick to go and grab them, or it could take forever to grab them. But I was willing to to risk the extra time it was going to take just for one more bag, because the path seemed pretty clear from the outside, so I was like, I should be able to get it with relative ease. So long as I just take it nice and steady and don't try to rush it. Rushing it is usually what gets me screwed over doing runs like this. Of course, I had to worry about that guy. I thought he might have tried to come into this room. Thankfully, he didn't. I was able to jump in here and grab a bag, but not before he took up position. Move a little too slow in the CTV, which is alright. I knew what I was signing up for whenever I decided to go back in for a bag.
A security guard. Security guard. Guardia.
Thankfully, he decided not to hang out too long in that spot either. But I also didn't want to just go ahead and rush out as soon as he moved, because, of course, that seems like a really nice and easy way to get busted. I had to worry about that guy up there, too, in case he saw me as he was walking across. And, of course, just as that guy starts to leave, somebody else walks in. And right about now, I was thinking, man, I really wish I wouldn't have came back in here for this stupid money bag. I should have just let good enough be enough and just just left. Ended the stupid heist. This is probably the only excruciating part is these runs, is just having to sit and wait for the most opportune moments. Really, really sucks sometimes. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but you definitely can't force situations that are definitely not going to play out in your favor. This guy decided to go outside directly where I needed to go, which made me a little bit aggravated, because I was like, oh man, really? Now I'm going to have to wait for this guy to move. And so then he makes himself look like he's going to walk off the side, or not walk off the side, but like go down the stairs and then go off to the right. And I was hoping that he decided to path out of the way of where I wanted to go so that I could just slip along the left-hand side and get out of this place. Definitely wanted him to get a little farther away before I decided to risk. Thankfully, he didn't see me.
Un guardia.
So think about it for a second. Am I going to go back and get the rest of the money bags? Nah, let's just leave.
Thank you for...
Overall, the run went pretty smoothly, at least that particular attempt. Actually, that particular attempt went incredibly smoothly. Other attempts, not so much. But that one was really nice, really smooth. Really didn't take too terribly long, considering all of the extra challenges I had kind of tacked on at the end of it. And we'll go ahead and take a look at my loadout just to ensure that, yes, I did in fact have, no skills and 99 detection and all that good stuff. And of course I'll probably open the safe up too, just for giggles, since I got it. Of course there's my saw, my weapon loadout, CTV, 99 detection there on the left, and then all my skills. And now let's go ahead and open up the safe, see if I get anything nice out of it. And you know what? I didn't already have that skin, so I'll take it. It's just a common, but if I don't have it, you know, I like to keep it. But anyway guys, as usual, thank you so much for watching.